Hi guys, it's George here at Air Rifle Warehouse. I'm going to do another air gun or air rifle review, and today I have the Daystate Huntsman Revere in the Safari stock. So, quick little bit about the rifle. This is a rifle I've had my eye on for a little while, and especially in this Safari stock. Now, I couldn't tell if I liked the stock or not. Bit of an odd thing to say, I know. And I'm sure the camera isn't doing it justice, but in person, the Safari stock is absolutely lovely. The texturing is really grippy. It's formed really nicely in sort of a classic shooter's stock, or hunting stock rather, but it's a fairly flat profile here, which for one, grip, but two, bench rest stuff makes it quite a versatile stock system. So I thought I'd just get that bit out of the way first. And like I say, the pictures do not do these justice. I highly recommend, before making a decision on one, you come look at it in the flesh first, because they're completely different in real life, as it were. So, quick walk around the rifle. This is sort of Daystate's, not entry level, but their entry level into the Daystate brand. And what an entry it is. You get, as the aforementioned, lovely stock. Coming to the back of the rifle here, this black piece, this is an adjustable cheek riser. So regardless of how high or what type of scope you're getting, you're always going to have a nice cheek weld. In the walnut version, you don't get this, but you do get a very handed and sculpted stock, which again is very lovely as well. Coming a bit further forward, you have the standard Daystate 2-position safety. So it's in safe now, in line with the red to fire. Back in. Coming forward, I'm going to flip the rifle round. So where this departs from the Huntsman Regal that came before it, this is a side lever, and it is buttery smooth. Up top we have a standard 9 to 11mm dovetail rail. I here, for the purposes of a review, I've mounted my Wolf Defender 3 to 15, going to sort of use this as a standard review scope. Coming forward, we've got the nice shrouded barrel. I have put a few shots through this to zero it, just down at our little test range here. And report wise, it's not silent. You would want a moderator if you want to do this in the back garden without annoying the neighbours, or if you're out hunting. But at the range, you know, it's not ringing your ears or anything like that. So it's plenty fine on that front. Coming to the front now, this is clear. So I don't like this way of doing things, but they've put the fill gauge at the front there. Don't know how well you can see that. You may be confused because there is a gauge here as well. That gauge here is for the humour regulator inside. So one on the end tells you your fill pressure, how much air you've got to shoot with. This one tells you what your reg's set up for. Realistically, most of us aren't really going to pay attention to this, other than making sure it hasn't spiked or anything like that. This is mainly for people who want to tune, tweak and things like that, or the guys in the service department sorting these things out. So that's the sort of walk around of the rifle. In the box, as standard, you get the fill probe. They've moved away from the standard Daystate Foster fitting version and gone to a male probe. Then you get one 10-shot magazine and a single shot adapter. Both just slide into the port here. So with the magazine to load, this is my first experience with the newer style of magazine, and it works very well. So to load this, you flip down the gate as such. You then wind it all the way around, and then you drop a pellet in to that first one. That holds the tension there, and then you can go around and fill up all the other slots. So I'm just going to do that now because I am going to chronograph this and get a standard deviation measurement for us. "11 shots in 2-2, so I'd imagine that's going to be 12, maybe 13 in 177. So then once you've put all your pellets into the magazine, close the gate shut. That is the magazine loaded and ready to go. So to fit this to the rifle, what you need to do is just pay attention to what side the magnet and the pin is on. That is the side that it loads from. So as I'm looking at it this way, this is on the right hand side, so it loads on the right hand side of the rifle. That is reversible on Daystate magazines. You can see you've got the holes and blanks this side to change it over if you prefer left hand loading. Entirely personal preference. So cock the rifle all the way back so the probe is clear here, and then it just slots in. You hear the magnet take hold of it, and then send the probe home, and you're locked, loaded, ready to go. So what I think I'm going to do next, rather than just shoot it, I'll do some chronographing, get a standard deviation. It is worth bearing in mind this is a regulated rifle, and I've taken it straight out of the box, checked that it's got some air in it, and putting shots through it. The regulator will ideally want a little bit of time to settle in. Basically what I'm saying is, whatever the result we get today, after a month or two of ownership and a few shooting sessions, it's going to be even better. So let's get the stand out of the way and turn the chronograph on. So all set up with the chronograph, same one I used in the 99 review, which is a little indoor one. Right, just make sure I'm level with it. What is 555. All I'm going to do, I'm just going to do 5 shots for the average. Like I say, this is just straight out the box. A 10 shot string seems a little excessive. That trigger does have a very crisp let off. It's a little heavy out the box for my liking, but that first stage is very, it's not long, probably a medium length first stage, but then you know exactly when it's going to break. So very nice, predictable trigger. It is adjustable, so if you like me think it's a bit heavy, you could adjust that down. Right, one more and then I'll work out the standard deviation. Right, figure out one safe from it because we are still loaded. So results. So we're all hovering around the sort of 550 feet per second. That is with the JSB 22 exacts, the 15.89 grainers, your standard 2.2 pellet. Right, let's do a little bit of maths. I say do a little bit of maths, I'm just plugging it into a calculator. Right, so I've just worked out the standard deviation over 5 shots, 3.4. 3.4 straight out the box, like I say, with an unsettled reg. That is phenomenal. That's nothing. That is very consistent and should equate to a very accurate rifle once you find a pellet that it likes. Speaking of accuracy, this isn't a real true accuracy test, we're only about 20 meters, but it's more about getting an idea of the firing cycle and how the rifle handles. So I'm going to shoot at a couple of targets down there and see how she does. Right, so just going to say that I've reloaded the magazine. Forgot to mention earlier, the nice thing about this style of magazine, if you have got the partial mag, you can wind the cassette back and top it up. So nice and easy for this. So helps if you pull the probe out the way. Right, so basically all I'm going to do, I'm just going to shoot at one target, the top left hand side one, The point of this, like I say, it'll give you an idea of the accuracy, but this is only 20 meters. A true accuracy test, you really want to be doing at 40 meters plus. But it will give us an idea how this gun handles, what it's like to shoot, the firing cycle, lock time, all of that sort of good stuff, and what it's just like to use. So one thing that's really nice, I've just mentioned just then, or just realised just then, the hook in here. It's really good for getting your hand building your shooting position. A very well thought out stock. Safety off. And that side lever is just lovely to use. My sort of impressions of the firing cycle on it is, it's close to a tuned rifle. Those who've shot with me or seen me in other videos know I've got my personal rifle's HW100 with a Ratworks tune package on it. This is very similar to it. There's no reverb, rebound inside. You just find the break point on the trigger and pellets down range. It's very confidence inspiring to use. Again, that probe, the mechanism in the cocking probe is lovely. It feels super smooth. I'm just going to sharpen and rattle a few more off. That was definitely me. There you go, right. Little quirk again, just realising now. It doesn't have a last round hold open or so, but when you put it back or pull the cocking lever back, you notice the magazine doesn't rotate or do anything. So you do have an indicator that you've fired your last shot. So I'm just going to pop that out there. That's empty. And clear it. So, sort of final thoughts on the Daystate Huntsman. I think this is an absolutely cracking rifle. It's accurate, it's consistent, it handles really well. It's daftly, it's very tactile. You just want to shoulder it and use it. It feels very much like a classic sporter rifle in the hand. You know, this is going to be right at home with someone doing some pest control, but also someone who wants a lightweight range rifle. If you're into HFT, a bit of bench rest, it's certainly accurate enough and consistent enough for either discipline. FT, the stock is a little bit off for that. You'd want hamster. I'm sure there's aftermarket conversions you can do though to make it an FT rifle. But other than that, this is just a really nice, quick handling, beautiful rifle that well deserves its place in the market. Price bracket on these, they range from about £1,000 and, well, between 1,000 and 1,200 quid, something in that bracket, depending on stock option and such. If you want to see more more reviews like this, please like and subscribe, comment down below, and what should I review next? See you next time.